Yo, would like to welcome you to the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast Extra. Man, there's so much going on in the world right now that there is no possible way that we'll be able to cover everything that is happening in one night when we broadcast Wednesday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Please don't miss that episode. It's going to be jam-packed with myself and Ayo Ben Yahoo, and Banat Shalahaya as well. But, you know, I want to stay on top of a lot of this as much as I possibly can, family. And this is something that I just saw not long ago that I felt like that needed to be taught. It is becoming very clear to me and obvious to me that the previous administration was not about business. There was a lot of talk out of that administration, a lot of lip service out of that administration, and something that my mama used to say, and I know she didn't come up with it by no means, but she said it quite often, and I understood what she meant. You were talking loud, but you were saying nothing. That was what we was getting. No matter what side of the fence that you were on, if you were left or if you was right, if you were Democrat, if you were Republican, if you were conservative or if you were liberal, you cannot mistake the fact that during the previous administration, that this country was flooded with migrants, so much to the point that the governor here in Texas was taking them by busloads, getting up out of here and shipping them to what is called sanctuary states. You don't have a problem being here, you deal with them, right? It became so much for those states to the point that they began to cry to the federal government and say, hey, do something about the governor of Texas, make him slow it down. We can't hold no more of these. As a result, the crime rate in those particular cities began to rise. Denver, crime rate went up. Chicago, crime rate went up. New York, the crime rate was going up. And every time something ridiculous happened, they always blamed it on the migrants, right? They always blamed it on the migrants. Previous administration had Kamala Harris that was in charge of the border, and we saw how well she was doing her job. So well to the point where she wasn't doing her job. You dig what I'm saying? So here we are with Trump in office now. He hasn't been in office a whole 4 months. Here on the 3rd of February, Trump break news that says that I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border, separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for 1 month period during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. High-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. How hard was that? You've heard me say on our show several times that conversation ruled the nation, and here is a prime example of that. We just reported last week how the Crown Prince of Saudi has agreed to $600 billion deal, signing bonus. That's just the beginning. For the next 4 years, and looking forward to working to President Trump and his administration. That within itself was huge. And here we have the president of Mexico who has agreed to supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers at the border to help stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants coming into our country. This man has not even been in office a whole year, people. Understand what we are witnessing here. We are witnessing a man who is not just giving lip service, but he is also putting forth action. What did James say? Faith without works is dead. He's putting in that work. He's not just talking that talk. You can say what you want to say about Donald J. Trump. You can feel how you want to feel about him. I certainly have my thoughts. I certainly have my feelings. No need to share them with them. If you've been following me, you know how I feel. But one thing that I do appreciate from all people, whether I like them or not, is I appreciate transparency and honesty. He has got to be the most transparent individual that has ever sat in that office. And he is by far the most honest, whether you like what come out of his mouth or not. He is by far the most honest individual that is sat in that office. They are going to come together within the next few months come across a deal. She don't want tariffs put on Mexico. Trump don't want to have a war with Mexico about the border and them allowing drugs and illegal migrants coming over here. But this is what we gonna do if you don't do something about it. Okay, well, we will give you the 10,000. We'll help our part on our end and slow it down. And let's talk about what we can do to work together as two countries moving forward. That's called you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's called we really don't have to like each other to do business. But at the end of the day, if we both can benefit, both can be happy. Last administration had 4 years. Nothing but total chaos was happening. Borders could not be controlled. Because they was not trying to control the borders. This is a Truth Be Told Flex podcast. I'll catch our show every Wednesday, live, right here on this channel. Myself, Yo Ben Yakub Benashel Lahadi, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Till next time, peace. Shalom. Blessings.